making it a natural 16:9 aspect ratio. But why would we design it that way? What is the design center for a phone? It's this. It's your hand. A phone should feel great in your hand, and more importantly, it should be easy to use with this magical device we all carry called a horizontally opposed thumb. It does most of the hard work for us. So when you carry your phone, it should fit beautifully in your hand. It should be easy to send messages, type emails, surf the web, and that's just how we designed iPhone 5. This display is simply amazing. Let's zoom in a little closer. You see with the vertical pixels now, we're able to add a fifth row of icons to your home screen, so more apps on every screen. And all the software that comes on the iPhone 5 has been updated to take advantage of this display. So you see more of the web when you're surfing Safari. You see more of your email and mail. Your calendar shows more events. And as you probably know, when you turn your calendar sideways in the iPhone, it automatically goes into week view. And now you see a full 5-day work week, where previously it was just over 3 days. It's a really useful view. And all of our software is being updated as well to take advantage of this display. Our iWork applications, so Keynote, Pages, Numbers, all take advantage of this gorgeous display. Our iLife software as well, iPhoto, iMovie, GarageBand. There's much more room to work and play. But Tim told you there's 700,000 applications in the App Store. What happens with all of them? Well, this is part of the brilliance of the design. Here's an application that has not been updated because the developer didn't know yet about iPhone 5. It's exactly how it would run when you launch it. It runs at the same size as it does on every previous iPhone. We don't have to stretch it or scale it. It fits perfectly with the same dimensions. We center it, and we just subtly place black borders on either side of it that you don't even notice. It works exactly as the developer intended it to. The same is true in the vertical position as well. So all your software works just like before. Now, we have given some of the developers early access to take a peek at the iPhone 5 and this new 4-inch Retina display and to see what they'll do with their applications. And what we learned is two things. One, they can update their apps very quickly. And number two, when they want to, they don't want to just make it bigger. They want to do more with this display. So let me just show you two quick examples, before and after, of two popular applications. First, CNN. This is the application. If you use it like many of us do, it's working just like you're used to. But now with their update, they take more advantage of that beautiful display, have more areas to present the stories, just a better application. Here's a second example, OpenTable. You've likely used this to make reservations. This is how it is currently. It works just like before. And here's their new update, taking advantage of this gorgeous display. They've updated to show restaurants. They've actually applied some of the techniques and user interface of their iPad app into the iPhone now with the larger display area. And everything you do looks gorgeous on this display. Photos, TV shows, of course, movies take advantage of that beautiful widescreen display. When I say it looks better, they really do look better. This display has 44% more color saturation than the iPhone 4S display. And if you know about this stuff, this takes us to full sRGB color specification. So this is the most accurate display in the industry. And the engineering team went much further than that. They did some breakthrough work and have integrated the touch sensors right into the display itself. Others put a layer called an ITO layer on top. By doing this, we make it 30% thinner than the previous display, and we remove a layer, making the image sharper, having less glare and sunlight. This truly is the world's most advanced display. We couldn't be prouder of it. And that's the first feature in the new iPhone 5. Next, ultra-fast wireless technology. Again, you can imagine the challenge the engineering team faced. Make the iPhone thinner, lighter, smaller, build in all the wireless technology you had with iPhone 4S, and take it further. And that's what they've done. We've built in GPRS, Edge, EVDO, HSPA, making it a great 3G world phone, just like the iPhone 4S. But to that, we've added HSPA+, dual carrier HSDPA, and yes, LTE. So LTE gives you a theoretical maximum downlink of up to 100 megabits per second, and it just screams. So how do they do this? This took a lot of incredibly advanced engineering. There's now a single chip, baseband chip for voice and data, and a single radio chip as well. This saves a great deal of space. And we have a really unique Apple innovation in a dynamic antenna. We started this with the iPhone 4S and taken it much further with iPhone 5, where it can automatically switch antenna connections on the base antenna between different networks, creating different virtual length antennas. Now, you probably know LTE is probably the most complicated networking technology ever brought to this earth. And there are different bands and frequencies around the world. So an important question is, who are we working with to roll out LTE on iPhone 5? Well, in the US, we have great partners we're working with, AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint, to support LTE on iPhone 5. In Canada, Rogers, TELUS, Bell, Virgin, Fido, Koodo. In Asia, SoftBank, KDDI, SKT, KT, SmartTone, M1, and Singtel. In Australia, Telstra, Optus, Virgin Mobile. In Europe, Deutsche Telekom, and the brand new Everything Everywhere that's just launched their EE LTE network in the UK. Now in Europe, there's something else really interesting going on. There's a lot of adoption of this new dual carrier HSDPA network. So here's a list of all the carriers we're working on that with us as well. Just great coverage, the dual carrier network. So ultra-fast wireless doesn't just stop with cellular. We've also built in higher performing Wi-Fi as well. With iPhone 5, we have 802.11a joining B, G, and N. 802.11n is now 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and that's dual channel 5 gigahertz for much greater performance. So you can get a theoretical maximum performance of 100 megabits per second of bandwidth on 802.11. So that's ultra-fast wireless. Now, we're going to keep going with this, and what you're going to hear as I go through each step, we've updated every aspect of iPhone 5. Everything has been enhanced, re-engineered, redesigned over iPhone 4S. So what's next? System performance, a brand new chip, the Apple A6 chip. Compared to the A5, it's 2 times faster at CPU, 2 times faster at graphics. Our expertise in chip design is really showing itself here, because not only is it a huge jump forward in performance, it's also 22% smaller, making it more space and energy efficient. The team has done a remarkable job. You're going to see that across many of the things you do, whether you're launching apps like Pages, saving images from your photo app, loading up the music app with songs to play, viewing attachments and keynotes, really seeing basically 2x performance across the board. And developers are going to love what they can do with this new A6 chip, the performance they get for their CPU and graphic-intense applications. So we thought, let's get a developer to get their hands on this A6 chip in the new iPhone 5 and show you what can be done with state-of-the-art performance and graphics. So I'm really excited to invite out Rob Murray, executive producer at EA Studios, to show you some amazing work they're doing on the new A6 chip on the iPhone 5. Rob? Welcome.
Thanks, Phil. Hi, everyone. Now, we're known for creating the ultimate racing experience on iOS. Well, the new iPhone lets us take this to a whole new level. So today, I'm going to show you Real Racing 3 for the first time. And you're going to see a Porsche GT3 racing on the legendary raceway Laguna Seca. Now, we've got Vince up here to help. Hi, Vince. Let's get it started. Look at the graphics here. Now, these graphics, they've been built to full console quality, and they're running on the powerful new iPhone. I mean, all this is running in the palm of your hands. It's incredible. Now, have a look down the side of this Porsche. See the reflections? You see the car and the track reflecting dynamically in the bodywork. Now, this not only looks awesome, but it actually shows you a bit of what's going on around you. I mean, it actually makes the game easier to play, as do rear view mirrors. Yes, for the first time in real racing, you can see behind you. It's great. So you've seen the graphic trying to catch me. Now you might be wondering, Vince and I are racing, and we are. How is it that he's driving but I'm just standing here? Well, we used Game Center to produce one of the coolest new features in Real Racing 3, time-shifted multiplayer. So I can challenge Vince one day, and he can race me the next. And what you're seeing up ahead, that's actually my race from yesterday. You'd see it a lot closer if Vince could catch me. Nice one, Vince. So this is not just a ghost, because you saw Vince bump me. He can fully interact with his vehicle. He can jostle for race position, and he can actually affect my final time in the race. Now this is something we have never seen done before. And this is Real Racing 3 for the powerful new iPhone. Real tracks, real cars, real people you can play against anytime you like. It's coming to the App Store later this year. Thanks, everyone.
If you're a fan of the Real Racing app like I am, you know that it is truly state-of-the-art in the physics and the realism it brings. And now to marry that with console-quality graphics is unheard of and unseen before. Truly epitomizes what can be done in the palm of your hand with that A6 chip. So we've got an A6 chip, we've got LTE networking, we've got a larger 4-inch Retina display. You can imagine the challenge the team faced now of trying to even match the battery life the iPhone 4S has in a thinner and lighter design. And we're really proud because what they've done is not only match, but exceed the battery life of the iPhone 4S. So 8 hours of 3G talk time and 3G browsing, 8 hours of LTE browsing, 10 hours of Wi-Fi browsing, 10 hours of video playback, 40 hours of music playback, 225 hours of standby time. Incredible battery life in the world's thinnest smartphone. Next, the camera. Another area we've done a tremendous amount of engineering in. Now, if you know anything about camera design, you know the biggest challenge is vertical height. Making something thinner is the worst thing you can do to a camera team. So we asked them to go ahead and try to create a camera to fit in the new thinner, lighter iPhone 5 and deliver the kind of performance we had with the iPhone 4S camera that is heralded as perhaps the best camera in the entire market. And they've done that. They have built in an 8-megapixel sensor, 3264 by 2448, backside illuminated for great low light performance, hybrid IR filter, 5-element lens, and a fast f2.4 aperture. All the things you loved about the iPhone 4S, now in a camera design it's 25% smaller. That was a huge undertaking. But they didn't stop there. They've enhanced this camera even further. A few of the examples of what it has now is a new dynamic low light mode. So when you're in low light situations, the ISP senses that and is able to combine multiple pixels together to give you up to 2 f-stops greater performance in those scenarios. And you really see the difference in your low light pictures. And this optical system has been amazing with this 5-element lens. One of the best ways to get a better, sharper image through an optical system is more advanced alignment.